Yo, if you don't want these YouTubers all up in your videos, you tired of them, you know what? Just sub to King Q. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I'm gonna do a little something different, and I'm gonna go down my top 20 figures that I personally want that's coming out this year. So before I even get started on that, I'm just gonna go over the rules. So basically, I'm picking figures that either just got announced or have been announced, but they either come out this year. So I'm skipping basically the prototypes. So if they were at Toy Fair or Edmonton City Comic Con and they just show the prototypes of it, I'm not putting them in there. So for example, Storm Collectibles Mataro had a prototype. Now he would have made the list, but since it was just a prototype, there's no mold, there's no paint, whatever you want to call it. If there's nothing on it, then I'm not gonna put it on here because basically that figure is most likely gonna come out later on in the year or more towards next year. So probably early next year. So I'm not putting it on the list. But and also you're gonna hear me like there was just so many figures that I really want. So there was a lot of them. I mixed them up with two. So if like for instance NECA had like three figures that I want, even though they're not uh the same franchise, I put them in the same category. But you're gonna see a lot of the same franchises together, and they're gonna be multiple times. Like there's a lot of Mezco figures. There's a lot of Funko figures. Steph, especially Mezco and Storm Collectibles. You guys know how much I love both of those companies. But we're just gonna get right into it, so you guys got an idea of what you guys are gonna hear. So, like I said, this is my personal top 20. And then, like I said, there were so many figures that I wanted to put on here. I just, to shorten the video because then there'll be like a 5-hour video because there's so many figures that I want. But, so I kind of shortened it up to figures. So, like I said, if they're already out, then I didn't add them on the list. So, we're going to start off with actually number 20 and NECA. So like I said, this was just me going down, and then this is like some that I just really want. So I had to put it at 20, even though it could have been further down the list. But it was NECA's Ghostface that was definitely revealed at Toy Fair, and Razor and Tukar. Now you guys are saying like those two, Razor and Tukar, everybody's gonna want it. So the problem with that is that you guys know, you guys haven't never seen me unbox Ninja Turtle franchise characters on my channel. That's because I decided to stay away from NECA for a little bit because there's just so many Ninja Turtles, and if I were to collect Ninja Turtles, I would get down a dark hole real fast. So but those figures look cool, and I do love that ghost face. I had pre-ordered it already on Big Bad Toy Store, so I'm definitely getting that. And Razor and Tukar hasn't went up on pre-order, but I'm sure those figures are gonna sell out real fast. There was also the Disguise Ralph, as well as Casey Jones and Shredder. So if you guys don't know, like I grew up on Ninja Turtles. I really do love Ninja Turtles. I just never collected the figures. But with those three figures right there just announced, I'm definitely gonna have to get into it because there's no way I'm missing out. Especially Casey, I loved Casey Jones. Like growing up, I was like a hockey guy, so I used to play hockey when I was a kid. Floor hockey, not ice hockey. I used to play floor hockey for my local gym, and I've just resonated with Casey Jones because Casey Jones used the hockey stick and used to play hockey. But man, so cool that they made that figure. So definitely those two figures. So you guys get the idea of I'm just combining them. So with number 19 is gonna be the Mezco's Two-Face and KG Beast. Now, you guys already know I already talked about the Two-Face before on my channel. I'm kind of not feeling the face. I kind of prefer that they would have did like a green or the regular pink face that we see. But seeing him, like every time I look at the promotional shots, there's just no way I'm missing out on it. And then I know Hot Toys got a Two Face, but that's more of the movie type. I do like the more of the comic slash Arkham games style of Two Face, but definitely that. And then like KGBs, I feel like DC underuses KGBs, and I didn't like how the Gotham show used not Gotham art the Arrowverse, how they use KGBs. You know, they had them like some old uh, just like this old Russian guy from Arrow. So I like this KG Beast more. That's the KG Beast I remember, especially with what's that movie, the animated movie. I believe it was uh Suicide Squad. I don't remember which Suicide Squad he was in, but that's the KG Beast I remember. So definitely cool that they made him. Definitely gonna try to pick those two up. And then with number 18 had to be the X-Men 2000, the Marvel Legends. So it had Mystique in there, Hugh Jackman, and then I really wanted for that Hugh Jackman, but then the Magneto, the Fassbender, and then the Ian McKellen Magneto, and then the Charles Xavier's, Patrick Stewart's, and then the James McAvoy. So I believe they come with two separate heads, but I will definitely purchase both so I could have the younger one and then the older one. So I would definitely buy both. Like I would buy two of them so I could just have the separate heads with both of them because I do love both characters. Michael Fassbender is one of my favorite one of them, at least one of my favorite actors, and James McAvoy is definitely up there too because he does a hell of a job. But I grew up on the the X Men 2000, so that wave is definitely a must for me. So I'm definitely purchasing that. And then Funko with number 17 has to be the Saint Seiya's. Definitely, I was waiting for Funko to finally do it to show the concept art of him, and they finally did. I just know Funko is gonna kill those Saint Seiya's because of their uniform. If you guys don't know, just look up the SH figure arts of the Saint Seiya characters, and they're all in golden armor. They're so badass. So I would definitely purchase the Funko because it's a little bit cheaper. Some of those Saint Seiya figure arts are like over 100. So unless you're buying a big bundle, it's gonna be a little pricier to purchase them. But then I also included on that is the 10-inch Mewtwo. Now he could have been one by himself, but I decided to add him with the Funko. So and then with number 16 is three of the Funkos. It was the X-Men Toad, the Gambit, cause that Entertainment Earth Gambit, I'm definitely trying to get, and then that Target exclusive Doctor Doom, that came out on Target Con, so I'm definitely trying to get those. Probably the Doctor Doom was probably gonna be the hardest one out of all of them. And maybe the Toad because he's gonna be a Funko Shop exclusive. So I want to see what happens with that. The Gambit, you can still pre-order him, so he's gonna be kind of easier. But those are three that I really wanted. And then with number 15, which could have made my list um, a little higher on my list, but I had so many good figures that I had to put on my 15. So it's the SH Figure Arts Great Ape and the Captain Ginyu. So that Great Ape is like so. It's one of. It's trust me. It's gonna be one of the best figures. Definitely one of the highest, probably most wanted figure art probably out there that everybody's gonna try to get their hands on. It's so cool. And then not only that, the Captain Ginyu as well. I have mine pre-ordered already, but I'm definitely trying to get my hands on the Ginyu because hopefully down the line, SH Figure Arts do finally a company finally does the whole set of the Ginyu Force. I believe the demonical fits have the Ginyu Force. I'm not sure on that, so don't mark my words for that. But you know what I'm saying? I really want the Ginyu Force, and I know Funko's not doing it, but hopefully down the road, Figure Arts do the whole Ginyu Force. I think it's time already. With number 14, so we're gonna get onto Ben Presto. You know, so it's Jiren. That Jiren looks cool. You know, him buffed up. If you guys don't remember that, it's from Dragon Ball Super. I'm not gonna get down to the actual scene, but it was actually really cool that they made that. There's also the Lemillion, definitely trying to get him, the Togota, and then the Endeavor. So the Endeavor Bad Presto figures, I'm trying to get my hands on all three of those bad boys. Probably the Lemillion is gonna sell out faster because I know people already put their pre-orders in, and then if they see him in stores, they're gonna snatch him up because he is one of the most popular My Hero Academia figures. Not just figures, but hit character in My Hero Academia. So they're gonna try to snatch that up before that thing even remains in stock. Before for like 5 minutes, that thing's gonna be gone. So if you haven't pre-ordered him, you might as well get your pre-orders in on websites. I highly recommend Band Presto. I highly recommend Big Bad Toy Store to get your pre-orders in on them, because in stores, trust me, it's gonna be hard to find. Um, and then with number 13, it's one of my personal favorite. My favorite movies growing up was Hellboy. I love that movie with passion. And this is kind of like the newer look, the newer. I forgot the guy who plays Hellboy in the newer movie, but this is more of his look, and I'm okay with it. You know, because regardless, they both just remind me of Hellboy, regardless. But it was the Hot Toy version of Hellboy, so I'm definitely gonna try to get that because like I said, I grew up on Hellboy. Hellboy was one of my favorite movies. Ron Perlman is one of the best character to play. Hellboy, he actually made me a fan. That's why I love Sands of Anarchy so much, because he played Jax's father, you know, and or his stepfather in Sands of Anarchy, and he's the reason why I love Sands of Anarchy. So definitely gonna have to pre-order that Hellboy. So definitely gonna try to get my hands on that. One number 12 has to be the Masters of the Universe, the Funko. All those, like I'm just gonna put all of them because I'm just gonna try to get my hands on every single one of those things. I'm happy that Funko got the license back. Definitely something that I was super happy to see it, and then them announcing some of those at Edmonton City Comic Con. And I see, I said it again, Emerald City Comic Con, and then some other ones at Toy Fair. So definitely gonna try to get my hands on. Was it a Toy Fair? I don't remember, but try to get my hands on those as well. And then when number 10 was the new DC McFarlane's Mortal Kombat's. So it's the Baraka and the Katana, and Baraka is one of my favorite. Probably at least top 15, top 20. Yeah, I like Baraka because I grew up on Baraka. You know, the Shaolin monks. I love Baraka in that game. You know, his I forgot the cult. What's the name of his warriors? I forgot the name of them, but they're so cool. You know, they look like miniature Barakas. They're so cool, man. I do love them. And then Katana, you know, the princess Katana. You know, I love her. But that's number 11. So now number 10 has to be. So now number 10 is like the ones I'm definitely going after, and some of my favorites that I got announced within this whole year. And we're not even halfway through the year, so there's so much left. You know, there's so much reveals that could happen. So then number 10 has to be that GI Joe Snake Eyes. Now I do love GI Joes. I'm not a huge fanboy of GI Joe, but I did love that Snake Eyes. He looks so cool. A lot of stores having to put him up for pre-order because he's gonna be so hard to get. A lot of people already pre-ordered it. So, but like I said, he's one of the cooler characters I did love. That Snake Eyes. So definitely gonna try to get my hands on it, and you should too if you do. And not even if you like J. Joe, it's just like the way he's flexible, his articulation, just how he looks. He looks so cool, so badass. So I did love that, and then can't wait for them to do the villains down the line of the GI Joes. I know there's three other GI Joe characters, but I'm not really a fan of it. Duke was okay, but everybody else was whatever. Um, but if I do get into GI Joes, which is another rabbit hole to get down, I'm definitely gonna have to get those. So there's just my wallet is just hurting right now, it's just super hurting. So at number nine was a hard one to put at number nine. I really wanted to put it a little bit higher on my list, but man, um, yeah, I had to put it at number nine. I had to take the L for that one because it was the Diamond Select, the newly revealed Lord of the Rings figures, the Legolas and the Gimli. Now you guys know I love Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is my favorite franchise. I eat everything up with Lord of the Rings. I listen to the audiobooks. I read the books. I play the video games. I even bought old PS3, old PS2 Lord of the Ring games just so I could just feel the nostalgia of it. I just love the franchise. You know, a lot of people crap on it on the movies, and some of them do it to make jokes or whatever. But I was never that guy. I always grew up on it. Me and my best friend growing up as a kid. I haven't talked to him in years, but we grew up and we used to play like pretend like we were like two Lord of the Rings. I was always Legolas, and my friend, I'm not gonna say his name, but he was always Aragorn. So, cause he would always pick like the popular characters, and I would pick like the side characters. But Legolas to me was always my guy. He was always my guy. I loved Legolas. He was with the arrow, just and actually, he was actually the most uh the goodest one out of all of them, because you know they had those jokes where him and Gimli would do the tallies on how many orcs they can kill, and he was always in the 50s, and Gimli was always like in the lowers. But I do love that they made the two pack, and then eventually they're gonna do more down the line, and then do a build a figure with Sauron. So I cannot wait for those. The fact that they're doing those, like I don't even care. I'm definitely picking those bad boys up. I can't wait to army build those orcs because they said they're gonna come with like different heads, like at least two or three. But I'm just gonna, because you know orcs are gonna look the same, so I can't wait. And then that's gonna probably get me into mythics, so I can play around with the orcs. That, oh my god, it's gonna be so crazy. So I can't wait for those. But I spent too much on that. I could talk about Lord of the Rings all day. Um, so then with number 8 has to be the McFarlane Spawn figure, which is the Mortal Kombat 11 version of Spawn. So definitely want to get that. Like I said, I'm going to Final Combat. Yeah, actually, yeah, this is probably gonna be uploaded before Final Combat, so I can't wait for that. Trying to get my hands on that because when Final Combat comes out, um, Spawn figure would be in stores. So hopefully they have that figure at um, Final Combat. But you guys are gonna see some video on that, so I can't wait for that. Um, Number 7 has to be the Figma, the Personas. So actually, I'm sorry. So I put with number 8. So it's not just the Spawn. So then there's the Azrael and the White Chronicles. So I put those together. The Azrael just blew my mind at Toy Fair this year. So cool. And then there's the White Chronicles, which is the Joker, and then the Batman, and then the Azrael. So all three of those figures are gonna be amazing. But the Azrael is the one that really got me. I can't wait. Azrael is one of my favorite DC villains. Technically, he's an anti-hero because he could be a hero. There's a cool, if you guys ever played, I believe, Arkham Knight. I believe there's a scene. It might be City or it might be Night. No, I'm pretty sure it's Night, where you see Azrael, and once you finish his whole arc, he has this thing to where you could, he goes up to Batman, and Batman, you could have two options, whether to let Azrael do his thing. So basically, I don't know. This is spoiler, and this game has been out for a long time anyway. So spoiler alert if you never played Arkham Knight, but there you have this option to where you could kill Batman and take over the mantle, or you could just continue playing as Batman and have Azrael forget his whole dynasty of taking over. So I'm not gonna go down his whole story arc of Azrael, but it's so cool. So basically, what I did, so I make sure I saved the game. So then I went and I did both story arcs to see how it plays out. So then basically I end up first I did it to where I killed Batman, and then that's the end of the game right there. And then I did it to where I didn't kill Batman, so it was so cool seeing that. It was some dope. I believe that was Arkham Knight. I'm not sure that was City, but that was so cool that you could actually do that. So I do love that. But that's a little quick story of Azrael. So definitely it's one of the cool ones. So down, let's get down to number 7, which is the Persona 5, the Figma characters, and then there was like 4 or 5 of them, like the Akechi, there's the Noir, there's Makoto, and Fatsuba. So those type of personas, I'm definitely trying to get my hands on. You guys know, constantly. And I'm pretty sure this is probably gonna be every episode, or every episode I upload on this channel. I'm just talking about um, Persona. But that's how much I love Persona, so I'm definitely gonna try to get my hands on it. Even though I kind of hate Catchy or whatever, but he is so cool. No matter what, he has the cool beak. He's Crow basically, so he is so cool. And then Makoto, she looks cool as well. All of them looks cool, but I can't wait to get it. And the reason why I didn't name the other Persona characters like Joker, Ryuji, and Panther, and Fox is because their Figmas is already out, so I didn't add them to the list. So definitely have to pick those up as well too. So maybe if a lot of these future videos are coming anyway, so can't wait for those. But and then with number 6 has to be one that I had to drop it down. Like I originally did my list and I had them higher, but then I was like, nah, I can't do that. But number 6 has to be the Yu-Gi-Oh! Funko figures. So all of them basically, like I love that Funko did the Yu-Gi-Ohs. And growing up as a as a kid, I absolutely love the Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to collect the cards. We used to play cards. I'm pretty sure if you grew up if you're a '90s baby, you probably played Yu-Gi-Oh! So we used to collect the cards, play with each other. I used to have dominated decks. That's how hard I was into it. Because the trick to Yu-Gi-Oh is everybody. Well, growing up as a kid, I'm not sure now, but growing up as a kid, everybody had monster decks, just loaded with monsters. The things what I used to do is I used to load my deck up with few monsters. I used to keep my deck down to 35, and I mean I had more cards, but when I played with some against somebody, I used to shorten it down to 35, and I would load it with spell cards and trap cards, and had a few monster cards, and that's how I would beat them, and I would take their because we used to play for our best cards, so I was taking I was taking people cards all the time, and they used to get so mad. They used to try to play me and then just lose more cards to where they were just so pissed. They used to just ask me like, "How are you beating me?" And I used to tell them like, "Dude, you're losing because you got all these monster cards. You're trying to put all your powerful monsters, which is a good thing, but the problem is that I'm using trap cards. So I would have like 3 like man eater bugs. So basically, that card is more for if you attack that card, he gets to destroy one of your monsters. So if you destroy it, he destroys one of yours. I used to destroy it from right there. Then I would have the trap hole. I would have um what's the other one? There's another card that destroys all monsters on the field. So it was just so many. Then I would have Monster Reborns. So I would take some of their cards and until they banned it. But back in the days we didn't play. We played with the banned cards or whatever. I would have Change of Hearts and all that, man. But it was just so crazy, man. I just love those days growing up as a kid. But it was so cool. But anyways, so with number five has to be the AOA Apocalypse Marvel Legend. That not just the wave, but just and then could include the Sugarman wave, but basically I really wanted for the Apocalypse. I love X-Men, so him. I know the comics aren't really too good, but I do just love Apocalypse. I kind of wish they go back and do him in the movies. But have him with the skull in his hand. It was so cool. A lot of people love Thanos. I grew up more on Apocalypse. He was one of my favorite villains, so I definitely love that. And like I said, I would love to see in the future doing Disney just doing a better version of Apocalypse or Feige, whoever's in charge. So definitely cool. Um, So number five has to be the Mescos. So I added a whole bunch of Mescos because then they would have took up my whole list. So five Mescos. I had Gambit. That Gambit's gonna be amazing. Ghost Rider was revealed at Toy Fair, and oh my god, that thing looks sick. Just a motorcycle on flames. That looks cool. Just like and then just the Ghost Rider himself. So it's so cool. Thanos. The more I see it, I know the first I was like, but then the more I see it, the more I just want it. And then Morbius, I love Morbius, so I can't wait for the movie. So I cannot wait for those figures to come out. And then number three has to another three figures has to be, definitely Storm Collectibles. Dark Side, that Dark Side looks sick, and I cannot wait for that. I have mine on pre-order already. I'm waiting for the Lobo to come out, so they had a Lobo. I would have liked that they made him with a motorcycle, and then eventually, like down the road, with him with the space dogs or the dolphins. That would be cool, but I take what I could get. So definitely pretty cool. And then Doomsday. So that Doomsday looks absolutely sick. It looks like the Injustice Doomsday, and I love it. I can't wait to pose him next to my Mezco Superman and just have Doomsday choking Superman. Man, it's gonna be so sick. So I cannot wait. I do have that on pre-order as well. So we're just gonna see when those come in. And then with number two, and this is gonna be shock everybody because everybody's gonna be like, "How the hell do you have this over that?" But like I said, this is my personal list, so this is gonna be crazy. So the Batman Beyond Hot Toy is the number two. Now I love Batman Beyond. Growing up as a kid, I loved the TV show, the animated TV show of him. Also, as well as the Thanos, the Battle Damage hot toy as well. So I put both of them together on the same list. So both of them looks absolutely amazing. There was I forgot who I was watching, but he had like a super cool idea of just having the battle damage Thanos with the Black Order characters behind him. Is that man is gonna be so cool. So I'm definitely gonna try to do that. But man, those two figures, they were definitely must, and I'm definitely pre-ordering. I already put my pre-order in Batman Beyond. I'm just waiting on the Thanos, so I have to put that one in as well. But man, those are so cool. I definitely had to pre-order them. And then, last but not least, my most anticipated figure. And like I said, this is gonna be shocking because that Battle Damage Thanos could have easily been number one or my Storm Collectibles, but number one is the Storm Collectible. You guys knew this was coming. Aries. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys know how much I love that Aries. That Aries is absolutely incredible. He has the cool sword, he has the axe. It's looking so cool. He has the horns. He looks like Aries. This is kind of like more of me like loving God of War, because playing God of War as a kid, I love Aries. But this is a different version of Aries. This is the comic Aries. This is him with Injustice Aries. And like I said, he was one of my favorite characters. I used to play Aries all the time in Injustice 1. So badass that they made him. He looks absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, Storm Collectibles is one of my favorite. I'm telling you, my favorite companies out there right now, just because they're more for like people. They do figures for people like me. I just like the side characters. I love like the characters like nobody talks about. So like the Lobo, the Aries. So the fact that they made those are absolutely amazing. And you guys already should have known that was coming. Just that Aries is so sick. So I can't wait for that pre-order comes up, because when that thing comes up, pressing that button. So now that's the end of this video. But before I do that, I'm going to do some honorable mentions, because like I said, there were just so many figures I could have put on there. So then there's the Jushin Thunder Liger, the Storm Collectibles. Definitely one I could have been on the list, but there were so many good figures on this list that I couldn't put it on the list. As well as the Marvel Legend Punisher. That thing could have made the list. Definitely should have made the list, but there were so many other good figures out there. And then there's the Funko Pop of Persona 5 Fox. So that's cool. That one's definitely coming out. It should be coming out pretty soon as well. Then there was a ton of Band Prestos I could have put on here, as well as the Golden Frieza, the All Might Weekend, the Naruto and Sasuke, the Golden Frieza, which they shown off at Wonder Festival, which was so cool. The Mandalorian Hot Toy, which I do have on pre-order, but the reason why he didn't make the list was because he's not in his full armor, his carbonized armor, whatever you want to call it. So I let them off, but he could have made the list over anything. But I do have on pre-order because I'm planning on purchasing both anyway, so it doesn't even matter. There's the Sugar Man, Marvel Legend Wave I could have put on here, but like I said, so many cool figures, as well as the Red Hawk could have made the list, but he's an honorable mention. And then there's the Funko Kefla and KO, so I definitely trying to get my hands on those. I do love those. And then the Amazon exclusive Endeavor. So those were some honorable mentions, and then plenty of other figures. But if I left off some of your favorite Funkos or favorite action figures, like I said, it's not my intention. This was my personal list, so definitely different from yours. But that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this list. Hope you guys, and if you guys want, leave a comment down which figures you're excited for this year. But hope you guys enjoy this. If you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Also hit the like button, because it shows support for the channel, as well as hit that bell so you're notified when a video like this does go live. But you guys have a wonderful day, and see you guys later.